Ben Kunzle is a world-class Brazilian Jiu Jitsu athlete who spends much of his life training in the gym. He picked up the martial art at 11 years old and became one of the best in the world. But since May 2022, a training session he had done countless times before changed his athletic career forever, after a spinal cord injury on the mat left him quadriplegic, with partial paralysis in all 4 limbs.
I had picked up my partner over my head, and then in the process of doing that I slipped and we fell and he fell on top of me. I had a C5, C6 dislocation, and so what happened was the bones kind of slid out of place, and let's say the spinal cord goes to the middle, the bone smashed into the spinal cord, leaving me quadriplegic.
As both an athlete and a fighter, Ben is no stranger to injury, but it did take him some time to come to terms with the severity of his accident.
I actually got into like a big argument with the doctor. I was like, bro, you have no idea what you're talking about. You don't know who I am. I'm an athlete. And so I thought it was just another injury where I would be fighting again in like a month or a couple weeks. But then as the time went by, I realized how serious the injury really was.
Ben's road to recovery has been a long journey of adjustment to mental fortitude as he has learned to navigate his new body. But along the way, he has received unconditional support from the Miami Project to Cure Paralysis, an organization which strives to help people with paralysis find themselves again after their life-changing injuries.
The first thing that we did was boxing. And we boxed every single day while Ben was in rehab. We would meet and he would let all his frustration out, but it was also something that was kind of helping him in his rehab because we were working on balance, we were working on coordination, on strength.
The Miami Project taught Ben that as a quadriplegic, nothing is impossible, only adaptive. And his time at the Miami Project's rehab center showed him there are still several ways for him to exercise and compete, including adaptive cycling, wheelchair rugby, and weightlifting at a normal gym, just like everybody else.
I love coming back here into a normal gym and just being surrounded by strong, fit, healthy people, you know, it motivates me. I like it here because people don't feel bad for me. As a matter of fact, they see me and they feel motivated and they get excited to keep training, and that's what life's all about, you know, being able to help others.
Ben works out twice a week with his trainer Daniel, who helps him get stronger. But that's not the biggest goal Ben has in mind.
Through fitness, I want to get full independence, right? And in the long term, I'm looking to be the strongest quadriplegic in the world. But really, I want to be the strongest version of myself.
For Daniel, training with Ben is a new experience. Ben has a limited grip with his hands, so his workouts are centered around cables and attachments that wrap around his wrists. But the challenge is one that Daniel welcomed with open arms, and has appreciated ever since.
What I liked about Ben is his mentality. He's a champion. He was a champion. He's still being a champion. The fact that he wanted to push that hard and he wanted to improve and he wanted to really be in shape, that motivated me to start with him.
And the progress Ben has made in the gym is noticeable to everyone around him, especially himself.
I remember when I first came here, we hopped on the cables and we did rows. And I did maybe 10 pounds on each arm. 1 month later, I was rowing 45 on each side. Professional help from somebody like Daniel, who's, you know, professional and actually studied this stuff and knows what he's talking about. It makes the world's difference.
But Ben is far more than just an athlete with a heart and mind stronger than his body ever was before his injury. He is an inspiration to those around him, and he now shares his story with others to push them to be the best version of themselves every day. And his story is not one of injury and struggle, but a story of strength and perseverance.
When I used to be a Brazilian Jiu Jitsu athlete and coach, I have always been helping people. Now I feel like I'm helping people more than I was before as a coach. And I mean, if you can have that impact on people, that's a great thing.
Reporting for UMTV, I'm Daniel Tull.